Hello, everyone. Okay, here we are on our Facebook live stream. I am Carla Sanders, the Cosmic Crone, and I am here with the Gemini Full Moon Divine Feminine Astrology reading. And I'm introducing you, oops, which way do we go? This way. To my Yule tree. We have lights up and it's kind of fun. Let's see. Let's expand to the whole page. And so I'm here for a reading for a few minutes. Gosh, I love these sparkles. The full moon is on Saturday night at 11:36 p.m. Eastern Time. That's my time zone. And I have drawn this chart for Eastern Time Zone, Searsport, Maine, where I live. And what a chart it is. This is a big full moon. Because of the sun's position, the sun is conjunct the galactic center in Sagittarius. They are sitting right on top of each other. And across the sky at 27:29, the moon is in the sky, and at that hour the moon will be high where I live. It will be almost midnight. So when we look at these really high moons, the wintertime full moons in the northern hemisphere are way up high. And so when you look, feel that energy passing through you to the sun on the other side of the world at high noon, and the galactic center right there with it, and feel the moonlight pouring into your eyes, and feel the sun and the galactic center holding your back. Really potent, powerful energy. The galactic center is the black hole at the center of our galaxy, and it is one of the mysterious objects in the zodiac chart that is outside the solar system and represents the divine feminine, because it has all of this holding, carrying, attracting energy, and that is one of the hallmarks of the feminine. So what's going on? Well, it is hard to talk about this full moon without talking about Venus retrograde conjunct Pluto. Exactly 6 hours later, at 5:36 a.m. Sunday morning, Venus turns retrograde. Now, I'm going to do a separate teaching. In fact, I will be teaching on that throughout the next 40 days, because that's about how long the retrograde lasts. And there's some really potent energy with that, and some other aspects that are coming into play. So I cannot emphasize enough the power and the potency of this Venus retrograde in Capricorn, conjunct Pluto, and meeting up with all the other planets she's going to meet up with over the next few months. Personal planets, for the most part, Mars and Mercury, and then Vesta, who is just a little beyond Mars in the asteroid belt. But these are the planets, the inner planets are known as the personal planets, and they really tell us stories about ourselves in a way that is more immediate, more intimate, more related to our relationship with self and our relationship with others, the people in our families and our dear friends. And there's a ton of transformation going on with that because of Pluto. And I'm not going to say any more about that tonight, because there are other things going on in this chart. And in the next day or two, I will be doing a reading for the moment of Venus turning retrograde. And a lot of these aspects will still apply. So these aspects are pretty busy. Um, what happens, the full moon is a portal, as is a new moon. They are different kinds of portals. A full moon tends to be a portal into expansion, into gratitude, into the manifesting of creation, of being able to see evidence of what you're making. The new moon is more of a portal of gestation, seed sowing, the time where things are cooking and being imagined in the darkness. So here in the full moon, we are seeing. And what we are seeing is all of that solar and galactic energy pouring into our emotional and intuitive world in the air sign of Gemini. And the air sign of Gemini is intellectual, creative. It's all about movement and dance and this pas de deux of the twins, Gemini, the twins. We just had the Gemini meteor shower, where if you sat outside and looked at the sky, kind of focusing generally on the constellation Gemini, you would see these not asteroids, meteors just flowing out of that. And even with the moon, I was out there and I was seeing 1 or 2 a minute, which is quite a lot given the brightness of the moon. But the skies were very clear. So we've got a lot of Gemini energy active right now. We've got Black Moon Lilith there, and Ceres is retrograding. She's going to dip back into Taurus, but she is at the 1st degree of Gemini. The North Node is in the early degrees of Gemini, 2nd degree. But Black Moon Lilith is the one I want to talk about. She has been going through Gemini, really activating. Lilith, as a goddess, her totem is the owl, and she is a silent nighttime air goddess. So for her to be activated at this moment where Venus is about to turn retrograde and we're having this full moon, emphasizes her airy qualities, that ability to move silently between the dimensions. And right now, for the next several days, it's been happening for a few days and it'll happen for a few more, Black Moon Lilith is opposite Vesta, and these two have been dancing together for 2 years in trines and squares, and now they are in opposition. So as you are standing, gazing at the moon, feel that very close to the moon is this invisible point, Black Moon Lilith. It's not an object, it is an essence. It's a mathematical point that nonetheless speaks of that which is secret and powerful within us. And directly opposite is Vesta, the priestess. The priestess is in Sagittarius. She's just completed a conjunction with the Great Attractor, another mysterious extrasolar system point, and she will soon be making a conjunction also with the galactic center. So Vesta, the priestess, is absorbing all of this spiritual energy that is part of Sagittarian nature. And she's offering it across the sky to Black Moon Lilith, her sister, her goddess, her divine guide. These two, they are in a sacred partnership. Now, Lilith has many bodies. I read 3 of them. This Black Moon Lilith is in some ways the more universal. It's the one that goes between the world of form to the world of spirit and back again. She is like the lemniscate. She moves in this in this infinity that scoops up infinity and gives birth to it as life, absolute fertility. And within us, it's the erotic energy that scoops energy from the heavens, the cosmos, and brings it into creation. So Black Moon Lilith stands for that. And when she is in aspect to Vesta, we join Vesta at the altar. That altar is within us, inside of our sacred wombs, our hara, our second chakra, male and female. We have that Vesta going on inside of us. And she is activated by Sagittarius, just finished a conjunction with the new moon in Sagittarius, and now dancing with the full moon. And Black Moon Lilith and Vesta are in a square. We call it a T-square because they are each opposite each other in the sky, and they are making a square to Psyche in Virgo. Psyche is a woman. She stands up. Very often we see her as the one who is wounded, and we fear she will never heal. And anybody who's been on a journey of growth and transformation throughout your life, a conscious journey, knows that the same things keep coming up over and over, and you think, will I ever heal? And the answer is no. You will grow. You will just keep growing. This is fuel for your growth and motivation and inspiration in all of those parts. So Psyche is a mythical being who represents that aspect of ourselves of, I can never get it right. I don't know what to do. I ask for advice and people tell me things that don't work and I get into trouble. And then she stops listening to other people. She is given tasks by the great goddess Venus, impossible tasks, and she accomplishes them by calling upon and allowing divine support, all of which is coming from within herself, even if there are helpers and advisors on the outside. So this is who we are. We are women, we are humans on an initiatory path. And when we can recognize that our true guidance is inside of us, then we can integrate all of the lessons, all of the challenges, and rise, become our fully expressed divine. And that is the story of Psyche. So here she is connecting to the priestess and to the great goddess. And even though the resources are within us for the initiation, for the growth, for the transformation, it is not something we do alone. It is something we do in company with our circle of like-minded people, of people on the journey with us, mentors, elders, initiators. And so do not think that you can do this without support. But also do not think that your mentor and guide has your answers. That is the lesson of Psyche. Now, the opposite Psyche, there is a whole lot of other action in this chart, and I don't think I'm going to talk about all of it because some of it I'm going to discuss more when I go into detail about Venus retrograde. But right now, I'm going to talk about Juno. It has been laid upon my heart, as we used to say in the Baptist church when I was a little girl. It has been laid upon my heart to testify about Juno. And that's coming down the road after we've processed some of this Venus retrograde. Juno has more of a story to tell. She spent a long time this late summer and fall in a conjunction, a retrograding conjunction with the great attractor. And I mentioned her then, but what we need to talk about right now as Juno as a guide for society. Because Juno stands for social justice. What's good for women and children is good for the world and for the country. The sacred marriage, and Juno slash Hera, they are, Hera is Greek and Juno is the Roman goddess. That she also stands for a woman's initiation path. There is an arc to initiation. And there is the stepping into life as a maiden, as a young woman, as beauty, as desirability, attracting the eye of the god, and then coming up against real life and cruelty and challenges and patriarchy and all of the emotions. I just completed the Raging Womb Masterclass where we talked about the emotions of, and our emotions. We didn't talk as much about jealousy, but one of Juno's hallmarks is jealousy. It's one of her shadow aspects. It is sometimes the only place we can go when we're being mistreated, or it's a first place, it's part of the process. And then Juno remembers who she is. She goes off, she leaves it all behind and gets connected to her purpose, her divine nature, and comes back and heals her marriage because she has healed herself. And that is, she stands for the sacred union of masculine and feminine, and this is within our own bodies and souls and energy fields. And it's also, what happens between us and other people. So I think we need to talk a lot more about Juno and what she stands for, and especially her relationship to social justice and seeking what is good for women and children as the guiding principle of society. Our ancestors understood this. Our indigenous relatives and friends, neighbors, understand this. And a lot of us, technophile, post-industrial humans, have forgotten it. And certainly the patriarchy and the governance, they have a very weird idea of what that looks like. It looks like power and control, not uplifting, nurturing, and making sure that everyone has the food and the shelter and the love and the education and all of the things that they need to survive and thrive and make a just and peaceful world for the next generation. So Juno right now is in a trine to Uranus Albion, the thresholder. Albion's the thresholder. He is a shamanic figure that takes us through doorways of birth and death and orgasm. And so he picks up a resonance from Pluto and some of the other transformational thresholder shamanic planets. And he is an excellent companion for Uranus, who also represents sudden change. I call upon the spiritual epiphany as the first mode of change, where it's waking up, enlightenment, things that come out of the blue and open your eyes. And it can also be things that are either pleasant or unpleasant surprises, unexpected outcomes, surprise events. Didn't see that coming. Uranus is all of that. He's also electricity, communication, the speed of light. Things happen fast when Uranus is around. So here we've got this this shaman figure, Albion, holding space for the lightning bolts that Uranus is literally dropping into our lives. And they are in a flow to Juno, who has just completed a conjunction to Mercury. And then Juno is also in a square to Lilith asteroid in Hecate. So you have the disowned feminine within, the one who is saying, what the heck is she talking about with Vesta and Black Moon Lilith and Juno? The one who is saying, what can I do? I'm just a woman. Or I'm feeling too wounded and hurt to do anything. And Lilith is in a conjunction to Hecate. Hecate is the crone at the crossroads. She is wise. She knows everything. She sees everything. She says nothing. She simply says, decide. She says, show. Choose. She says, choose and trust yourself. But do not stand where you are, because that way is death and stagnation and going backwards. The only way to go is forward, and there are always multiple paths. And these can be paths in your mind, paths of conflicting beliefs, paths of conflicting opportunities, conflicting messages. We stand around listening for divine guidance, but that divine guidance is inside of us. And Lilith knows what she wants. But you can't hear her because she has been silenced by patriarchy. Or the minute you listen, you start judging and second guessing. So this aspect of Juno connecting in a flow to Uranus and Albion, saying there's change coming, and there is change is happening now, play a role. And that square to Lilith and Hecate is saying, make a choice, make a decision. Stop sitting on your gifts and start putting them out into the world. Don't wait to get it right, to get it certified, to get it, to have someone's approval. Just do it. Just be there. And take a step. So if we did not have Venus retrograde conjunct Pluto, this is what the full moon would be telling you. So let us amplify it by a flow to Jupiter at 28, sorry, what is it? 28 Aquarius. Oh, I can't really doing things at night in the dark, but these days are less than 8 hours long here where I live. I have to do things in the dark. So everything I've just told you is amplified by the presence, by the connection of Jupiter to the full moon and the sun and galactic center. Amplified, expanded, and given the signature of good luck and benefits and success. So this full moon is a very good time to take a bold step forward, to launch the program, write the book, raise your prices, introduce that new healing modality, tell someone what's on your mind, or it's over. So this is what's happening, and remember this, because in the next couple of days I will be back with a very detailed Venus retrograde reading that goes all the way into all the way to spring equinox, because that's how long this whole thing is going. And that's going to be layered on top of this full moon reading. Really intense, complex, beautiful astrology that you just have to flow with and dance with and stay centered with and allow it to work on you. Yes, I just said it's, and it is. And at the same time, you've got to be really grounded and focused. Focused on what you're giving and focused on receiving what you need to be well resourced and taken care of. And if you're in the position of not knowing what that thing is you're birthing, then Jupiter will help amplify the sounds that you're listening to. It'll be a time to be quiet and listen and let that come through. What do you have to offer? You have so much to offer. And I would be remiss, doing you a great disservice, if I did not remind you right now that you can receive a Divine Feminine astrology reading with me. It's one of the ways that I offer my work. It's a wonderful way to be introduced to aspects of yourself that may seem unfamiliar, that are ready to be born, and of course to working with me, because we go deep. We go deep in a reading, looking at all of these points and especially figuring out what Venus retrograde has to say to you. Where is Capricorn in your chart? What part of your chart is activated by this shift? And then we have the opportunity, if you choose, to go even deeper into initiation. And there are several octaves of initiation that I offer, from where you begin, women's initiation, the Lilith initiation, into womb priestess initiation, and even the Inanna initiation. So over the next few weeks, I will be telling you much more about those, but it all starts with the Divine Feminine astrology reading. So I look forward to sharing that with you, and I'll put the link for you to book that. It will go in the comments after we post this. So, blessed Yule to you. And whether you are living where the sun is high and hot right now, or where the night is long and dark, blessed solstice.